If this was a chance to happen, what would happen? They're the closest things on earth to us. If 100 men won against one gorilla, nobody can say shh. I think the men would lose. Hey YouTube. So this is TREZIE Talks podcast. If y'all haven't been here before, subscribe, like, watch a couple of my videos, comment. I'm very open. I'll be having to move the mic away because I don't want to scream into the mic like OD. Go click over to my channel, watch some of my videos, y'all, if you're new. If you're returning, hey, welcome back. Like, we about to talk again. This is something that has been going viral, and I had to talk about it. I'm seeing it go viral and everything, and I'm like, bro, it's hypothetical. That's what it is. It's a hypothetical that's going very viral. I don't even have to say it for y'all to know what I'm talking about. Y'all probably already know what I'm talking about. It definitely caught my attention. So I'm like, you know what? Let me talk about it. I know y'all seen it. It's the 100 men versus one gorilla. It's like every time I scroll, it's something new. Every time I scroll, it's a new meme about it. Every time I scroll, it just make me laugh. I'm not gonna lie. But hold on. All right, let's paste this. Okay, we're gonna take a second. Hold on. We're about to just jump right into it. All right, so we're gonna start off with who invented this, y'all. What's the background on this? Who thought of this hypothetical situation? 100 men versus one gorilla. You know me. I'm going to do my research every time. So I go do my research, and what do I see? It's this guy who, I guess he just had an impulsive thought or something. He shared it, and it just caught wind. But he posted it back in 2020. That's the thing. So it's been out for about 5 years, but it just regained traction this year in 2025. So now everybody's like re-sparking it. This is from what I looked up. I'm not sure how accurate these numbers are now to this day, but he brought in 270 million views from that one post. That's a lot of people. It's not even about the views, y'all. It's not about the views at all. It's more about how many people this attracted. Like, how many people are interested in this. It's so interesting that it's viral. It's so interesting that I'm talking about it on my podcast right now. We're going to get into it, I guess. Since we talked about the background, now we're going to actually get into the actual debate, okay? Because what are we talking about? All right, let me give you some background, right, on a gorilla, a silverback gorilla, an ape. We're talking about apes, y'all. I did my research, right? So a silverback gorilla can weigh up to 450 pounds. Y'all. And I'm pretty sure, y'all, a gorilla is all muscle. It's not fat. Like, that's a hefty ass gorilla. And really think about it. 450 pounds is a lot. Like, and of pure muscle. Ooh. It's 450 pounds pure muscle. And then it can lift 27 times its own weight. Y'all, it can lift 27 times its own weight. When I think about that, y'all, sorry, I have to put the mic down. We're going to make a new transition because I don't want to be screaming in the mic at y'all. Like, I feel like I'm screaming. It's 450 pounds of straight muscle, and it could lift 27 times its own body weight. The gorilla already weighs 450 pounds. There's people who can get up to that. But normally, a typical person, and like we're talking about in this scenario, a typical man does not weigh 450 pounds. We're going to look up how much a typical man is supposed to weigh. A man in his 20s might average around 188.6 pounds. While a man in his 30s, 10 years older, averages closer to 208 pounds. Still not touching a gorilla in any fashion at all. Even in his 30s, y'all. That's literally less than half his weight. The gorilla's weight. Gorilla weighs 450, and the man only can get up to, well, I'm not going to say only can get up to, because you can be big, but like on the average, a man is going to be 208 pounds by the time he's 30. Yeah, I'm just saying, that right there alone would be having me like, I don't know, because even if you do factor in that there is 100 men, right? So let's do the math, right? I'm going to do times, let's say they're all over 30, right? So they can all be 208 pounds, right? Maybe there's some fat ones. I don't know. But we're just going to go with average guys, right? Average guy weighs 208 pounds, 0.1 by the time he's 30. If 100 guys that was 208 pounds went up against this gorilla, they will have 20,000, almost 21,000 pounds of force against it, right? Mind you, a gorilla can lift up to 27 times its freaking body weight. So now let's do that math, right? So if a gorilla could lift up to 27 times its 27 times its own body weight, right? 450 pounds times 27, how much it can lift this body weight? It can withstand 12,000 pounds of force, y'all. It can withstand 12,000 pounds of force from those guys. That's more than half of the force that they had to put up. So if he just wipes out the first force, say he wipes out 50, the last 50 is cake. That was a little math, y'all. Sorry, I had to go into the math. But essentially, if a gorilla and 100 men went up against each other, as far as body weight goes, it's still going to be a hard time. That's what the body weight thing, y'all. So the gorilla's PSI, I'm looking it up for you guys. PSI stands for pounds per square inch. But a gorilla's PSI is, hold on, 1,300 pounds of force, right? 1,300 pounds of force on top of the fact that it can already lift 27 times its weight. So the gorilla could bite one person and throw the other person with one arm, throw the other person with another arm, yo, like, it would be so slow for the men. But my camera's about to die. I gotta finish this up. The bite force of a gorilla is similar to a bull shark, and it's similar to bears. Grizzly bears, black bears, don't matter. So that's what you're going up against too. So we're gonna compare the 1,300 PSI that the gorilla has to our human PSI. We can't even bite the thing. Like, to think that a human would bite a gorilla is a joke. Like, you're playing at this point. Like you have to be playing. Humans, we have 162 PSI for our bite force. And I know that no human's really going to try to bite a gorilla, but it just shows how inferior we are to them. 1,300, he can bite you and kill you. Like, and to think that you're going to go up against them, 100 of y'all. And before we close out this part of the video, I just had to figure out, how much can a man lift? You see how gorillas can lift up to 27 times of their body weight? I wonder how much a man can, right? And it says that a man could lift between 0.8 to 2.2 times his body weight. That's on a bench press machine. And it gives an example, right? Basically, the example says that he was able to do better on a deadlift than a bench press. He lifted more on a deadlift than he did on a bench press. Not to like down you guys or anything, but like, compared to a gorilla, like, I'm just being so real. But men only could lift up to 0.8 to 2.2 of their body weight, which is probably like another person or something like that, or two people. I've seen people lift up two people, like, you know, but not 27 times their body weight though. Never that. I'm sorry. The apes are superior. They're superior. There's nothing I can say about that. I think 100 men, if they went up against a gorilla, if they're all untrained, they're just some working men that just go up in there. They don't train to fight a freaking gorilla at that. I don't know anybody who's training to fight a gorilla, but, you know, just 100 untrained men that have not trained to fight a gorilla, right? What do I think that the fate of that situation would be? My opinion on this whole topic, I think the men would lose, right? I think the men would lose, but that's just like typical because they're facing a freaking gorilla. Even if there is 100 of them, like I just went over all those stats, in reality, they're just not going to win. But, okay, I have this thing here from a primatologist, and her name is Tara Stoninsky. She suggests that while gorillas are formidable, coordinated human effort could potentially overcome one. So she studies non-human primates in their natural habitats. So basically, she's as close as it gets when it comes to getting next to a gorilla, being up close and experiencing what it's like to be with the gorilla, what they're like. Y'all, she's saying that if humans were coordinated enough, that they could overthrow one. I believe that. If all 100 men are on the same accord, and they're like, okay, we're going to do this, and this, and we're not going to back down from the gorilla. Like, they're all on the same type of timing. It can happen. But listen, once one guy gets freaking thrown across the city, and then the other guy gets bit The other guy starts getting pounded on like a mother drum. Then that's when stuff starts to build up and people don't want to fight anymore. So that's why I say everybody has to be on the same accord, because nobody can chicken out. You lose one person, that gorilla's gonna win. It's like everything has to be perfect. But some untrained 100 men, no, y'all not winning. I don't think they're gonna win. People are gonna be crying. They're gonna be wanting to go home. They're gonna go there and they're gonna be like, why did I do this? Mentally, I don't think that 100 men will be able to survive, like, going through fighting with a gorilla, truthfully. But y'all, we gonna move next, okay? Because like I said, my camera dying. We gotta speed this up. When it went viral, we need to talk about what happened on the internet. First things first is Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast talking about some let's do it. And he does stuff like this. So I'm like, yo, if he really actually pulls this off and is able to get 100 guys to go fight one gorilla, I'll be baffled. If 100 people actually signed up to do it, he would go through with it. I'm not going to lie to you. And and people will watch it too. I know y'all didn't just sign up to throw your life away. Y'all don't need to abuse that gorilla. He don't even want to fight y'all probably. He actually... Aside from Mr. Beast, right, we got the freaking simulations that they have of it happening. AI is so advanced. Yeah, AI has gotten to a point where it's like you can't even tell if stuff is real or not. But, yo, they have the simulation of 100 men versus one gorilla. And the gorilla's obliterating them. Like, there's not even no competition in the simulation, in the AI-generated simulation. I don't think there would be any competition in real life either. The gorilla is literally obliterating everybody in his path. Like, he's throwing them up in the air. Yeah, I know y'all seen the simulations. Yo, those junk had me crying. I love when stuff goes viral because all of the remixes and the stuff that people do is so funny. Y'all, they said, what if you're the last one with the gorilla and it starts talking to you like, you know what, you're the last one anyways, you're not gonna make it. But no. I would lose my shit. Like, I would be so confused. It's funny to me because I think that, like, gorillas and stuff, like apes and all types of monkeys, I think they can talk. Even dogs and stuff, I think they can talk. So, like, that's just so realistic to me. Like, if I was a man and I was in that 100v1 with the gorilla and it started talking to me at the end, I would just throw my hands up. Take me home, somebody. Because if a gorilla talking to you, baby, that's not good. The closest thing that we got was that simulation, which was very funny, that AI generated one. It's just a possibility at this point for everybody. Like, what if this did happen? The other thing I want to talk about, that's what brings me into my next topic, perfect. What makes us interested in this stuff? Like, 100 men fighting one gorilla. Who's thinking of that? Why is that interesting? Is that not animal abuse and human abuse? But at the same time, like I said, I'm making a whole podcast on it. I think it's interesting, but it's just like, why is it interesting though? Like, it's literally viral. It has the internet in a chokehold. Just say if it really did happen and take place, I think that the guys who attended it and, you know, if they did win against that one gorilla, they just want to be able to say that they participated in beating up a gorilla. Like, let's be real. Why else? Like, that's just some boy stuff. Like, why would you want to fight a gorilla? Even if the guy got seriously injured, he will never live that down. They just want to be able to say that they did it. And it's so funny to me. Like, it's nothing against them. Aside from it just being like a man thing, like a weird boy thing, I think it's the fact that, like, as humans, we're very closely related to apes. I shouldn't have to explain the history to you, but we're very closely related to apes, and they share 98% of our DNA with us. And we know this, like, we know that they can probably actually talk, that they just don't want to because they don't want to pay bills. Like, we know this stuff, but it doesn't actually happen. So it's like, it's not a thought in your mind. That's why we're so invested into this viral debate, because they're so closely related to us that it's like, even if this was a chance to happen, what would happen? They're the closest things on earth to us. That would be an interesting fight, y'all. That would be just as interesting as a human fighting a kangaroo. If it has to take 100 men to fight just one gorilla, baby, I don't think it's gonna happen. Oh, what we're gonna talk about lastly, we just long for excitement. That's it, y'all. As humans, we just long for excitement. And that's exciting because, like I said, I think it's mainly because gorillas, apes, they're so closely related to us that it could be a plausible fight, y'all. Like it could, and it's a possibility. I think that's the reason too, is because there's a possibility that we could win against a freaking ape. There's a small one, but people probably see the glimmer of chance. 100 men versus 1 gorilla. And I need to know what you guys think about this. Like, do you guys think that the gorilla's gonna win, or do you guys think that 100 men would win? Like, which one? I truly, like I said, I truly think that the men would not win unless they had a very good strategic plan and nobody was worried about being, you know. That's all I really have to say on this topic, y'all. So viral topic. Let me know what your thoughts are. I need to know everything you think about it. Do you have any stories that you fought a gorilla before? Maybe you have something to share with us that we haven't heard before. If 100 men won against 1 gorilla, nobody can say shh. Their pension better be ready when they get back. Leave your speculations, leave your opinions, leave everything down below. Like, subscribe, comment, share. If you haven't already, tune in. New video every week. We don't miss a beat. New video every week. 100 men versus 1 gorilla. Who gonna win? I don't know. It's definitely a good debate, and I loved covering it. TREZIE Talks out.